gnomes, unfortunately, right? So somehow, I was watching or following their conversation on Twitter yesterday. Yesterday was Thursday, yeah? Yesterday. And then the day before, on Wednesday. So the tainted blood conversation, because you see, they are all united. The moment you have to say, we are fighting the Igbos. In fact, if you want to prove that to this Ronu Kuso, if you want to prove that you are a genuine Yoruba, you must actually show how much you can hate the Igbos. Don't get me wrong, there are Igbos who also hate Yorubas, and they are also taking advantage of this to actually express that. No doubt. Yeah? So they push this idea of, as long as it is the Igbos, right? We are cool. So if your mama not from Edo State, your papa not from Yoruba land, oh, we are cool. Hello, can I ask a question? Say, yeah. What if my mama is from a Delta and my papa is from Ogbomoso? Yeah, we are cool. We are cool. We're cool. Until 2 days ago. And that won't be the first time. So 2 days ago, somehow, somebody just dropped the bombshell and said everybody who is not of the same, who is not of the same Yoruba parentage, they are tainted blood. They cannot become anything in Yoruba land. The champion of the Ronuku champions, they felt betrayed. They were like, no, I thought we said that if my mama is from Tapa, we are cool. And he said, I asked one of our leaders there, one of our Ronuku bigoted leaders there, that what if your mama is from Port Harcourt? Are you also a tainted? Are you a tainted blood? So does that mean I can't become anything? So does that mean that I'm actually like, I'm supporting what is really against me? Man, it was hilarious. And this was yesterday. So they started tearing themselves apart. Like, no, we cannot say that. It's only these Igbos that are our problem. They are the one coming to take over our land and blah, 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 blah. If we see anybody who is married to Igbo, they must not contest or run for any office in Yoruba land. If they have run for office, we must make sure we remove them. You see anybody, I'm like, it kind of like makes sense, right? When you call them retards, okay? Because normal, if you want to be part of APC, right? You won't need your brain, they say. They will take it from you and say, you won't need that. They will do all the thinking for you. And just like a mob, right? Just follow the direction. And then we can create scenarios of how much Igbos actually hate us. That too is working. Oh, you see, my uncle, if I tell you the story of my uncle when he traveled to Abakaliki, if you say, well, the Igbos, they are very, very bad. Oh, my brother, he no get brother. He's never been to any Abakaliki, but they can manufacture stories like that. Because from what I gathered, right, during that civil war, they call civil war, genocidal war of 1967 to 1970, right? When the Nigeria government and all of them go on and co, when they are like dropping bomb and then massacring people in the eastern part of Nigeria. About people in Lagos were doing party every weekend for that 3 years, right? The entire media, the entire space, it was like nothing was happening. This same genocidal war that saw over 5 million civilians killed in Nigeria for that 3 years. In the southern Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, everybody was living like nothing was going on. So in the news, in the evening, they will say the Nigerian army, they have now, they have recaptured Ugeli, and after that, we have pushed the rebels. They call them rebels. And they were feeding them, both in schools, so in the media, they were feeding them stories of how evil the Igbos are, Ojukwu and everybody. For 3 straight years, they built the army of of haters against the Igbos. This you probably know, and if you don't know this, if you didn't know this, well, now you do. as bombs were dropping in the eastern Nigeria, they were doing party in Lagos, they were doing party in Kano. Everybody was living fine, you know. So immediately, which means it was like a justified kind of like a genocide. And it was like, okay, yeah, Shebi is against these Igbo. They own too much self. How dare them say they want to fight war with Nigeria when they didn't do, right? So this is what we have on our hands in a situation whereby those who have brought guns, kidnapping people, raping them, and even killing them, including royal fathers, they do not receive the amount of hate, but they receive love from this Ronu. So it was deliberate. And you see, the moment Tinubu is no longer your president, these guys will fizzle away. What about the damages? What about the real victims who actually sit down? Some of them will watch my broadcast and somehow they will feel a little bit awful and say, thank God somebody is talking about it. Because I remember what happened to me at my aunt's place or at my, paternal uncle's place, who they actually kept reminding you that, you see, if, I don't know if you have heard this. So somebody said, our own uncle, right, was actually telling somebody that they're having a conversation and she was there. And this person was saying, if the war breaks out between the Yorubas and the Igbos now, that it will champion the group that will slaughter all the Igbos in Surulere. And she was there. She was just there, right? Our own nephew, I be able to call up, she nephew. Your own nephew, I be that they stayed there with you, right? And you know that she is of a mixed parentage, your own brother and her mom, right? And you are actually, and she said she felt like that can't be sarcasm. Like, is that how much, like, what would you even say they did to you? What would you say? You know, anyway, like I said, the line will be open, okay? I saw a video of a young man who said, it seemed, which is, I don't know, seemed that the Yorubas and the Hausas, that they have so much kind of like, closeness. So if they love Nigeria this much, because according to him, right, I call them the emergency lovers of Nigeria, the Ronukus. Okay, the Ronukus will tell you that Nigeria must break up, right? If their criminal leader says so, okay, which they say, if they have lost out in any power, the power deals or whatever, they will say, let us break up. And then the moment that they are called to the table or they are in charge, then they will say they love Nigeria, right? So then they will push it to you and say, those of you who are like the Biafrans who want Biafra, right? You are now the enemy of Nigeria. So they are now the lovers of Nigeria. Okay? So whenever you now talk about the failure of this leadership of the APC, in the contraption, talk about their failure, you will see the northerner that will come and tell you Nigeria is great. Nigeria is working better. We should continue to pray, maybe. Then you will see the Ronuku Yoruba Ponus, right? You will see them too. They will tell you, oh, this country is working. Everything is fine. It is only this Biafra people that says Nigeria is not working. Sure you get. So this guy said, if Nigeria is working for the Hausas and the Yorubas, what about the two of you keep Nigeria? And then maybe Biafra go keep their own Biafra. It was kind of funny, right? But like I said, the Ronukus don't represent Yorubas. They do not represent any ethos of a Yoruba land. These are just weather men, right? So most of them are pretty much controlled by the entrenched hatred. Decades of politically motivated tribal hatred. That's what motivates them. They don't love Nigeria. They don't care. None of them really cares about that contraption. It is turn by turn Nigeria Limited. Go take your shot, I take my shot. Once your turn, Baba, ruin them. Waika. be wicked. Here you get. It's up to you if you want to come be Mr. Nice. That's up to you. But once it is your turn, car to them. So they don't love that place. Nobody cares about that contraption because you will never treat what you love like that. You tell me, would you treat something that you love like that? Something that you care about, you care for. No, you won't pillage it like that. You will not loot it that way, and you will not ruin it that way. They don't give a shit about the contraption. They are weathermen. If the weather is warm and they like it, they will tell you that it's the best. If it becomes cold, they move. That's it. So this man has that advice. I don't know if he will probably make use of it.
There are three tribes that are always talking about how great Nigeria is and how we must all stick together. Hausa, Fulani, and Yoruba. I've been on TikTok going on 2 years now, and anytime I'm having a Nigerian conversation, there will always be somebody, either Hausa, Yoruba, or Fulani, talking about how we must all come together and work together. Nigeria is great, the promise of Nigeria. I have never, in my 2 years on this platform, had somebody come from other tribes. I'm from Akwa Ibom State. I have never had an Ibibio man. I've never heard anybody from the South, Niger Delta region, even the Igbos. I've never heard anybody outside Hausa, Fulani, Yoruba talking about how fantastic Nigeria is and how we must all come together and stick together. And now I have a solution to the Hausa, Fulani, and Yoruba people that love Nigeria so much. Why don't you guys keep Nigeria, and then the other tribes, like the Ibibio tribe and the Akwa Ibom states and, Cross River states, Bayelsa states, all the southeastern states and the north central states, we can be independent from you guys. We can have our own countries, run it the way we want to run it. And you guys, Hausa, Yoruba, Fulani, you guys can keep the Nigeria. Because as somebody from Akwa Ibom State, from the south region, I don't see a future in Nigeria. Because Nigeria does not recognize us. We are recognized only for numbers. But when it's time to now enjoy the benefits of the state, of the country, all of a sudden we don't have the numbers. All of a sudden. So now the solution is, why don't you let the minority tribes, let them go and lead themselves. Back off. They're not valuable to you. Leave them alone. So the Hausa, Fulani, and Yoruba, you guys can stay together and enjoy fantastic Nigeria. Can we agree on that? Because what is the point of Akwa Ibom State being part of Nigeria? I want somebody to tell me. Why can't Akwa Ibom State just be independent? I mean, this has happened in Europe. This has happened across many continents. Smaller states. Okay, guys, you want to be by yourself? Okay, be by yourself. End of story. But you cannot force people to stay together, especially when they don't see the benefits of staying together. Like the case of the Niger Delta, like the case of South. For sure, for Akwa Ibom State. Cross River State too. I don't know. Somebody should tell me something, because this is making no sense. There are three tribes that are always talking about.
See, it's unfortunate that the Ronukus have succeeded in trying to make themselves or positioned themselves as the people that represent the Yorubas. Because it is also the Yorubas who streamed Ebim Power, even though their president is Yoruba. So it doesn't really make any sense. But it does make sense, on the other hand, if we can agree. Because I know that apart from, like I said, apart from this sharing of this space together, as well as sharing the booty together among themselves, not for the generality of us, so to say, right? They don't have anything in common. We don't. Yorubas won't live with this Fulani Hausa the way you are describing it. Those who are claiming to be, those who are now claiming to love Nigeria, they don't. They won't stay with this Fulani Hausa that you are talking about. They won't. You get what I mean? But it is kind of like safe. Okay? They'll say it is safe to pretend to still be one country. And at the same time, right, the Igbos must be inside that country. Now, the unwritten rule is that when everything is wrong, no, hang on, the Igbos are never to be allowed near the seat of power. We must not make that mistake. They are saying it. They say, we must not make that mistake. They must not make the mistake. Igbo man must never be president of Nigeria. He must not get to power. Blah, 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 like that. So then they got power. They share the power among themselves. And an Igbo man is turned to a spectator. Then things start going bad. When things start going bad, they look among themselves due to their actions, right? They look among themselves and they have nobody to blame. Blame the Igbos. Must be them. It's either they are the ones complaining too much, or they are the ones who are not praising them too much, or they are the ones who are like, just blame it on them. That's the reason why things are not working. And that has been working for this hegemony for a while. So that is why they can't break up. Not now that they are the ones in charge. They can't break up. And that's their reality. Right? So, like I said, sorry I missed somebody's calling earlier. Latu Aruno says that she is a product of mixed parentage. And so is our grandchildren who are also mixed parentage. So if you can share what the experience is like with us, because this one is no longer about I heard they say and all that. Sure, you get. It's got to be your personal experience. And it doesn't have to be about a bloom or, what do you call that? A gloom and doom. No. There are those who will tell you that they never experienced any form of discrimination at all. From their papa's side or from their mama's side, they never experienced anything like that. Most of these things they see online is so strange to them. Even though what we see online as well are coming from people's personal experiences. Don't forget that, right? Coming from their personal experiences. So you can share yours, right? Talking about this Fulani terrorist, by the way, right? I bring back to you what Danjuma had to say a way back, right? About them.
Some few years ago, I warned that the armed forces are either not capable or unwilling to protect us, and that we must defend ourselves. The first denial of what I said came from the Ministry of Defense. They said I was lying. And they set up a kangaroo board of inquiry to investigate the truth or otherwise of what I spoke. And they invited me to come and testify. I did not go. I did not go. They wrote a report which said that I was only speculating, that there was no evidence. And now there is evidence. The whole country now is being run and overrun. And one very clear thing that is happening is that these foreign invaders, they are not even Muslims. A lot of the casualties inflicted on the land are on Muslims. They are destroying even mosques. But they were allowed to come into the country by our government. Now, as a soldier, my training teaches me that the best defense is attack. Right now, we are all sitting ducks